Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast Heyyyo episode number 2. And today we're gonna talk about the hobbies and the habits. Hello, Brendan.
Hello, V. How you doing?
All doing really good,
We're
and really excited for this episode because we're gonna talk about the hobbies and the habits, which are really a fundamental key to the art and life in general, to have a stable life and to be connected with intuition and in the flow of life. So, Brendan, what are your habits and hobbies?
well. I wake up every morning and I scroll on Instagram and I pet Nibbler for about an hour or two, and then I eat breakfast.
Amazing.
Then I eat breakfast. Sometimes that includes a bong rip. If I don't do that, then I talk to V for like all day. And then I'll decide what I'm doing, and that's either going outside for a walk, or yoga, meditation, or what else do I do? Oh yeah, art. Yeah, that's a big thing I do, isn't it?
I think I said habits and the hobbies are kind of obvious because I'm just petting Nibbler-chan. So
Yeah, well, that's a habit,
no, that's a hobby, bro. You must never.
Oh well, I habitually pet Nibbler-chan, and I do spend a lot of time with Nibbler as a hobby. He kind of he
Okay.
kind of doesn't really leave my side for the most part. Like, he's pretty cute like that.
All right. No. So we talked about Nibbler-chan in the previous episode, or maybe the next episode. I don't know when it'll release.
Oh,
But what you said, or you will say, depending on when the audience hears it, that Nibbler-chan is more like some kind of fire to boost your creativity.
oh yeah, Nibbler-chan
so-
is just absolute unit. He's super cute, fluffy. He's a cat, by the way. It's Tabby.
So that's part. Okay, yeah, this is really in the intersectionality of the habits and the hobbies.
I guess like having pets is kind of like an in between of having a hobby and like just like spending quality time and connecting with like something else outside of yourself. Like family or friends or something, socialization. So
But it's different.
yeah, I
It's not
know.
mind.
I'm just saying like
That's
like
yeah. That's why I'm saying it can be a fire to spark up the creativity because it doesn't have a mind. So it's like something that moves that doesn't have a mind. Oh, by the way, in Japanese, to say animal, you say doubutsu, which means a moving thing, which is pretty funny. Just wanted to sprinkle that in because
a moving thing.
Yeah, moving thing. I mean, moving and thing, yeah, like for the two characters. And because it doesn't have a mind and it can just spark up your creativity like nothing else because it's already in flow. So you observe the thing moving in flow, which has a soul and it's cool and cute and exquisite and all this from the perspective of an artist. And it's really different from friends, but friends can help that too. It's just really different. And both is needed because of duality, obviously. So I'm gonna talk about my habits, or more like the routine. I guess that's what you said at first.
Yeah, I was just kind of talking about my pretty much day to day,
So what I do is okay. So what I do is like I wake up, and generally I want to sleep again, so I sleep again.
Well, that I didn't even add that part to my. I don't even count that as part of my day now.
No, okay. Well, it depends if I slept enough. If I feel like I slept enough or not. If I did, then what I do is I basically I go on my computer, check messages. I take the path of doing some workouts. So in this case, I don't really like. I'm not on my computer, not right away, and I don't eat stuff right away because it's not cool to work out and eat at the same time, obviously. and I do that for
At
like
the
20
same
minutes.
time.
And or 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then I go on the computer, or I go right away on the computer, or I don't know, I get maybe some breath of fresh air from the outside. I open the shutters and get some light in and the basic stuff, you know. And then I get on the computer and I open my DAW most of the time, and I start making music. But sometimes it happens that I don't open my DAW and I open YouTube, and I get lost in it
In a
maybe.
wormhole,
Or-
perhaps.
yeah.
Oh, those
maybe.
wormholes are crazy, man. They just pop up anywhere in this, dimension. Sometimes you get sucked
swear.
up. Sometimes you voluntarily jump into them, Sometimes you leave, sometimes you come back, and then, sometimes you just kind of get stuck in a loop of going into the wormhole.
Yeah, that is the issue, in fact. That can really mess up my day.
Yeah, I think it messes up a lot of people's days, and that's why I started off right off the bat saying, like, sometimes I can't help it but look at like Instagram for hours at an end.
Well,
something.
yeah, I don't have this scrolling addiction like a lot of people have,
It's
even my
not
parents.
necessarily a scrolling addiction because like I know it's fucking stupid. It's more so like I don't know what else to fucking do and I'm fucking bored. And I like the fresh memes.
Well, yeah, you're a meme lord.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm the meme lord. So pretty much I just get fucking high as a kite and I search the internet. I scour the fucking wasteland of the backwater of society on the internet looking for the most quality memes that you can find.
Well, yeah, it's not really a scrolling problem, but for me, I don't like scrolling because, I mean, I rarely watch videos. I only see videos titles, and sometimes I see, oh, the problem of scrolling on your health and all that, and I kind of get the knowledge of the video without watching it because I don't have time to watch it. I'm too retarded to watch it. And right now I'm like, okay, yeah, it has some kind of bad effects on your health to scroll in a way because you're just scrolling like.
Well,
you
just
know, like
that had
bot.
like since lately I've been like really depressed and bored more so and going on the
But you're
like
falling into the wormhole more easily.
yeah,
I
I'm
get
going
that.
much more easily and like I don't like it, but I can notice like my attention span is so much worse. Like it doesn't even like it's just like sometimes I'm just like wake up out of it and I'm like, what am I even doing? Like, why am I here? Like,
it's kind of hard with the weed because it kind of, in a way, promotes it. Like, you can get lost in that more easily.
well, yeah, but whereas normally, like when I'm not depressed, I get lost in something I love and I care about, or interests me, or fascinates me, or is wondering, like like something that I wonder about, or like it's more exploratory or maybe even imaginative. But since I'm like battling this hobbies and habits, and it doesn't need to be a battle, and that's something that really is a nice step back to take from it. Once you stop fighting yourself and you're like, okay, I'm gonna wormhole here. I'm gonna wormhole surf, and then I'm gonna wormhole surf, and because honestly, like, dude, like, I don't got nothing better to do. But honestly, you do. There is something that's always better, and a problem and that's kind of why I started going back to scrolling is because I kept falling asleep while I was meditating, and so instead of like meditating, I was actually like oversleeping. And so that's why I started going back on my phone. But it's always so much more beneficial to like, instead of looking outside, to first go inside and say, okay. Because
the balance is key, but it's not necessarily bad.
No, it's not bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying because guess what, dude? I'll fucking meditate. And you know what I'll do after coming out of meditating? Immediately to Instagram and scrolling. Yeah, it's not like I like wake up like a scented lord of like, and I'm just like, oh yeah, no longer need Instagram, because guess what? If God is out there and God's real and God is us and all that, then God likes Instagram as much as I do. Go fucking figure, bro. He's got 8 billion units scrolling on Instagram right now. TikTok, everything, dude. God's army is on the around the clock looking for memes for him.
Right. But my point is that you kind of get spiritual hits through the Instagram and the scrolling.
Well, yeah,
is your way. It's not mine, but
it's weird because like it's like fucking meta as fuck because like I'll have like a lot of art and like, you know, philosophy, like spirituality stuff coming on my feed. And so, you know, I'm not gonna lie, you know, like some of it is just garbage. Like it's Instagram.
Yeah,
Instagram.
That's the issue of it.
It's Instagram, dude. Like, fuck. Like, you're on Instagram.
That's why I'm not really there, because, like
the thing...
there's too much nonsense. I really like to get the quality out of it, and I prefer to just, you know, like, meditate.
Ever since I stopped using my account from my personal account, and I switched to pretty much using only my professional one, that's when, like, the quality of it is just different. And also, I started using Reddit now, which is, like... If like I'll go to Reddit if like Instagram's boring and like
okay.
So like those two things like I stopped using Snapchat for the most part, like that, like sometimes I'll post some stupid shit my story, but besides that, like it's like
so yeah, this is where it's really different between each of us, because well, you're more of the social and extrovert type, and I'm more of the not social and introvert type.
Well, that's another thing that I would love to talk about.
All right, that's a new topic we just made.
You know, and because I haven't been socializing as much, like that's why I'm on social media.
But I haven't been socializing at all, and I don't like social media
because
either.
You're introverted.
So this is where yeah, that's where the Constitution plays a huge role.
Yeah, and
I don't know. I don't like to waste time with people that are not worth it. That don't really match, you know. Like, I don't know. It's maybe some kind of OCD behavior here, to where I just want to have the quality, which is cool. But sometimes, you know, you gotta be a little bit silly and all. But
well, I mean, it's like, if you haven't found people that you are safe and comfortable with sharing your time, like, you're not gonna really want to be around them.
You know that your mind always wants more, so there's that thing also playing out. Like, wants to find people.
Well, that's the thing, is like, I don't fucking care to find people, because people are just in your life, whether or not you look for them or not. And sometimes that's a very fortunate thing, and sometimes it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, what I mean is that's a thing, but what I mean is the ego that wants, or thinks that it needs to have like certain people to talk to, whereas actually maybe he doesn't, and he needs to be alone, you know, like that play I'm talking about, plus the play of wanting more and more. It's the ego characteristic.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right, those are attributes. I guess, like, but we're, as human beings, we're supposed to be in tribal communities and interact in communities, and like our hobbies and our habits should be communal, you know. I'm not saying necessarily that introverted behavior is bizarre and extroverted is, I guess, hyper on that spectrum, but it's just like different aspects. Like, think about it. Like, the extroverted people are going to want to go out and, you know, go forage or like hunt something, and then the introverted people are going to want to take care of the stuff back at the house. Like, that just has like, it just is like two sides of the same coin. Like, doesn't mean they don't like spending time with the tribe. Doesn't mean you ain't got a tribe. Sometimes, and that's a hermit. That's not an introvert. A hermit is someone who secludes themselves, and they are isolated or reserved.
There are so many angles.
Yeah, so
because we can talk about that.
You, my friend, are a lot more close to a hermit than an introvert, aren't you?
Yeah, okay, but I
Would you
wanted
like to
to.
talk about that as an experience and how that affects your
I
hobbies and
think that'll be
habits?
another episode.
Oh, the hermit crab episode.
Yeah, the hermit.
The hermit crab
Valentin the hermit.
episode. How did I stumble and adopt you? Is the question. Well,
No, I wanted to say that we can talk about also the fact that everyone is ambivert on some level.
that is
Because,
something that I very much so am.
because yeah, like we just have because yeah, duality, and we don't have just one set of characteristics like personality traits. You know, we all have a bunch of traits, and it changes all the time, and that's why it's a beautiful experience, and that's why like there are so many angles to it. That's why it's hard. And I really like to say that's why.
Well, the last
Yeah,
year,
we can talk for hours.
the last
Like,
year is
about this.
something that is a time that I've been, more so, reserved and more so on my own, and it's
Yeah,
taught
more like
me.
personal period.
Yeah, it's taught me the beauty of being alone, which I understood, but it was uncomfortable for a while because I was so used to being around people and doing things with
Yeah.
people, and
Yeah,
it would
right.
get really lonely, and especially before the cat, and I was living alone. It was weird.
Yeah, the cat really saved your life.
Yeah, the cat really fixed shit. If you're thinking about getting a cat, and I'm not gonna lie, the whole reason that I got this fucking cat is because he was free and he just kind of picked me, and that's what I said. I was like, if the universe sends me a cat, that's just like I want you, and it takes
Wasn't it
me.
a cat?
Huh?
Wasn't it a cat you pissed?
Oh, there was
pissed on
another
your free
one.
game?
Yeah, because that was Project Orange, and that was the one before, and apparently that was Anthony's cat, and he threw him outside because he was pissing everywhere too. And, so what happened is like I found him, and I was like, oh, he kind of looks cute, and he was like meowing, trying to come in. I have a video of this thing, and he peed on my furnace. I put him outside, and he just kind of just
peed everywhere outside.
Yeah, he just kind of rolled around on my porch, and then was like, and then I never really saw him again. But then, like, it was hilarious. Like, I couldn't even be mad. Like, what did I expect? Like, just letting a random cat into my house. And then I did it again.
There needs to be a connection.
And then I did it again, bro. And then this time it worked out, though. Like I said, he chose me. Oh my god, dude, there's a cardinal outside my window right now. And it's not just a male cardinal. It's also a female cardinal. It's well, look at them. They're so beautiful together. Oh. And bird watching. Apparently at 22 years old I could bird watch. That's a hobby too. Let's go. Level up.
Really? Oh, that's cool, actually.
No, it is.
Again, it's just animals, which is cool.
Yeah, I love animals, dude. I'm autistic, like, duh. And yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of time looking at art and stuff and doing art, and that's the thing is like, pretty much every night, I will, after dinner, I'll smoke weed and I'll go to work and I'll just make as much artwork as I can. And sometimes, it's not at nighttime, and sometimes it's different parts of the day, but generally that's when I do. I like to do it before bed instead of like going on like computers or something,
Oh yeah, that's something I want to say is that, well, visual art as in drawing and painting and anything visual is really different from music. Because, well, for me, I have this sensitivity to the sounds, especially the high-pitched ones. So I can really make music a lot. And even if I, like, just loop on the bass for a few hours, it's still the same frequency. So I need to get, like, the whole spectrum and to chill out because my ears are sensitive and, yeah, just need a lot of rest. And that's why I can't do music all the time. So I generally do music during the day and before going to sleep, or 1 or 2 hours before, I kind of chill out a little bit more. like listen to music already made from other people, already finished. And this is where I can draw more most of the time because I don't like drawing in the day because I feel like it's more chill because in the day it's more like I'm like full on boom boom with music, in a way. And it's more chill in the evening, night, depending, where I can like it's more chill, just the vibe, like people are not like busy everywhere, so the energy is more calm. That's on the bigger picture, but yeah, same with smaller picture, like around my house, where I just like draw stuff here, because it's more like chill. I don't know. That's just how I do it. I haven't decided it. It just turned out that way. Another thing I wanted to say, which I have forgotten. Mm, oh yeah, really important lifestyle habits to make you more stable and more in tune with your your divine nature. Because like real art has to be divine. You can't really use your mind. I mean, you can use your mind, but and you
Well,
might
it's
like
it's more so like you use your mind as a tool to like whip for
yeah.
the
My
art.
point is, you can't use only your mind.
No, you
Like
you don't you don't say I'm going to go and make something or I'm going to become an artist. And
yeah,
you get a message or a feeling or like a inspiration or imagination or
yeah.
something
It
like that.
gets revealed to you when it's time. So and you read that through a message in the moment. Yeah. But then you only know when it's time, you can, I mean, you can try to choose before. I mean, yeah, it has many angles. I know, for example, people that are just born with like innate abilities or that went to special schools that focused on getting the best out of you and not mainstream schools, then yeah, that's different. But if you're a normie, like normie, like life you had,
Well,
and then you
that
had some
yeah,
kind of
that's something
awakening.
interesting that you bring up with the schools and stuff. Because my school had a school really close to us that focused only on like arts and music and stuff.
Well, yeah,
It
that's
was a
another
private
thing.
school, and then
That's about that,
they
yeah.
in high school they transferred into our school, and all of them were so talented at like creativity and stuff, and it's like wow, just
Oh
like
yeah, that's for well, that's how it was revealed to you. For you, it was more like during your whole life, you kind of, from a relatively young age, you kind of went into drawing and stuff, which wasn't my case, which is really interesting to see the different, like, when we can compare our lives. Because me, it was really sudden. I tried, like, for example, before it was time, before my, it was Molly experience I had. Before that, like I tried to draw and all, and I even showed a few drawings to Brandon, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool and all," but I was like, I wasn't satisfied with it, and I
no,
was like, it sucks.
no, you definitely
I mean,
were very critical of it too, and
yeah, because I wasn't in the flow of it. I was like I was pretty external. Right now, I'm more like internal, as in focus on making instead of consuming. And because of that, like it wasn't timed, so that's my point. When it's time, it's time. But that's also relative. Don't take this like super word for word to where like, oh, it has to be time when it's time. I mean,
well,
sometimes it
this
can
is
be
the
like Brennan,
when you
the whole
listen
life
to
process.
this, when you listen to that, and it's really important because a lot of burnout comes from being creative, and that's especially when you're not listening and you're forcing yourself, pushing and going against the ebb and flow, or
Hmm.
and sometimes you make your own groove, man. I get it. I'm not saying don't do that. That's exactly what you're supposed to do, but have a
Yeah.
groove. Have a groove. Not necessarily make one or find someone, but have one, dude. Like, I don't know. Maybe you're born with that groove. I think that's how it works. And, like, dude, you stick to a groove. Stick to your groove, your authentic groove, man. And it's that will help you the most, like, because when you're in flow and it's a different state of mind. Like, you have to nurture that, and you have to nurture the ability to like sustain that and integrate that, and like, but you also have to like take care of your everyday life, and you know managing that with your career, if you have one alongside your vocation or hobbies or any of that stuff, you know.
Yeah, many angles.
We're gonna have a big episode. It's called cross sectionality of creativity. It's gonna be a good one.
Intersectional, yeah.
And it's gonna go more in depth into this, but yeah, like having a routine or a general like structure can be helpful. You know, like a foundation, like a template that allows you, enables you, and embraces your process. That's what you ultimately want. You don't want to get yourself into a rigid like schedule or
no, that doesn't.
no, because
that's too much mind oriented.
Yeah, the creativity needs to be free and open, like a fucking gazelle in the savannah, and it's just like chilling with the prairie dogs, and it's got lions eating it, and giraffes are kicking those lions, and there's clouds and stuff, man. Like, it's crazy. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen out there. Maybe there's a water buffalo or an elephant, man. Like, I don't know. And then, like, you saying how that's supposed to be is like the poacher who comes in and is like, oh, goodbye, little giraffe or something. You know, like, every time you poach on creativity, you're killing beautiful aspects of it without even realizing it, you know?
No.
So you gotta let it like a fire, you know, you tend to it, you keep it alive, you know? You listen to that passion that fuels that fire, and you let it burn, and you set your heart ablaze in whatever that invokes that, you know. Find something to burn yourself alive for. Pretty much, right?
No, it's really well said. But what's important is really to have that continuity in your life. That not only the creative continuity, but with everything that you do, you know, like being creative is, I mean, what really like promotes it is like just having a really healthy lifestyle that will really make like, I mean, okay, some things you can't really be healthy about because you have karma, for example. I mean, it's not necessarily bad. We talked about like Instagram scrolling and stuff. For me, it's not the best. So
if that's like the worst thing you're doing, though, I think
it depends.
I think you're doing I
mean, it depends how you have to like check your life and see how detrimental it can be, and if it is really detrimental, then you can like you try to change it, and until you realize you can't change it, and you surrender to it or ask God or whatever your religion and beliefs are. So yeah, it's like just this is how you have to do it, and like the actual having a good healthy life will like get you more in touch with whatever you're supposed to do. And then it doesn't have to be like creative, but it is creative on some level because the entire thing is creation, creative, you know, it's in the word. Same word root. So yeah, when I talk about healthy lifestyle habits, like what do? You just eat fruits all day long?
Well, yeah, fruits. You wanna eat like lighter foods, you know, like the way that the food chain works and the system in which energy is distributed is obviously the sun is the source of that energy and has the most energy. So plants absorb directly from that source of energy. So plants contain the most joules per matter or mass that you consume. And then the primary herbivores that consume plants get the second amount of, you know, energy, you know, from the plants. So the energy is not from the sun, it's from the plants. Then the secondary predators eat them. Then they have a little less energy. And then tertiary predators eat them, and then they get the least amount of it. Then they die, and then the decomposers eat them. And then they return all that nutrients that was left over and all that waste to be potential to then be used further that And I guess why I went into such a biological way of looking at this is that you want to stay around the first two of that. Like, you want to eat plants and like
colonize the sun.
Yeah, well, there is like technically like breatharians and stuff, which is like monks who just breathe and like.
Well, it's really hard to do this in our time and age because
yeah,
I mean the world is really unhealthy, so it's really hard to get the good vibes. I mean, if you live in a city, it's impossible to do that.
Yeah.
Even if you're fruitarian, you're gonna get so just because of the external stimuli. So you're gonna plus internal of the fruit, you're just gonna go insane. Like, now fruitarian is not stable, by the way. It's just you need something to ground you.
Yeah, being a breatharian is like something you do for like a day or something.
Well, you can do that in a higher age, but yeah, not here, not now.
Yeah,
maybe if you do that, I don't know. Maybe
I mean, I have gone a couple days starving myself, so I mean, it was pretty cool. But
yeah, it's not really.
It felt like a Datura trip. I'll just let you know that.
Damn. Have you slept at all?
I couldn't really sleep because I was vomiting and shitting constantly, and I was vomiting and shitting the same thing. It was disgusting.
That was the wormhole.
Dude, Dude, I don't even know I was like 15 when that happened. I ate bad sushi.
Oh yeah, that was the cause.
Yeah, dude, it was. Yeah, it was. I will tell you, on the third day, I ate an apple, and I will say that I felt like I had a whole new understanding of reality after I ate that apple.
Wait, what did you say? Like, it was the best apple of your life?
Dude, it was probably the most best apple in. Yeah, dude. Like, I literally I remember how like invigorating it was because I couldn't put anything into my body for the last couple days, and I had prayed that I could get this apple down and it would stay down. But I just remember how like quenching the apple was, and I was like, wow, this is one of the most perfect foods you could eat. It's crunchy, it's crispy, and it's refreshing and hydrating.
No, apple. That's the reason why apples are my favorite fruit.
Yeah, they're so good.
I eat 5 of them each day. Oh, I also make smoothies. I didn't say that in this episode.
Oh yeah, I've been making peanut butter, banana smoothies. And I eat clementines for the most part, and that's like a good way to get like all that in there. Like.
Yeah, energized.
Fish and birds and stuff. Those are pretty good. You can eat red meat. Like, don't eat a lot of it. Like, you should only, reserve.
Again, it depends. It depends on a lot of factors because some people can just eat meat and they don't really care. If I eat meat, I just feel too heavy. For example, like I have do you know doshas? Do you know what doshas are?
Are those like the little balls of meat?
Yeah, of meat. You said?
Yeah, like it's like a dumpling almost.
No, it's I showed you once. It's like Indian stuff.
Yeah, no, it's like a dumpling, right? It has meat on the inside.
No, it's not food. It's not food. It's to like it explains how we are our constitution. If we're made of air, either earth, fire, or water.
I thought you were talking about samosas.
No, I'm not talking about food.
I thought you were talking about samosas.
Well, I wanted to say that I have I don't really remember the name of it. They have pizza, whatever.
Pizza?
I'm like, yeah.
Well, pizza is also delicious.
Yeah, this is the Greek food, right?
Dude, pizza.
Pizza. Okay, no, Italian. Okay, what? It's not. It's not what I mean. What I mean is about that Indian thing. It's not a food. It's kind of a philosophy because, well, that's what they're on that level there. A lot of philosophical stuff. What I mean is that my constitution is mostly of like air and ether, and if I really eat some stuff that like really makes me heavy, then I just really feel the heaviness a lot. But I still need to be grounded a lot. And like we have a main dosha. Well, let me Google it. because at least we get the correct name.
Like for me, I like to eat lighter foods earlier in the day and then heavier foods later in the day.
Yeah, because then you can sleep well. Because if you eat some foods before sleeping, you can fall asleep. I mean, even if I don't eat foods like in the hour before sleeping, I can fall asleep.
Yeah, I usually eat cookies or ice cream.
Oh yeah, no, I can't eat ice cream, bro. My belly's like, bro, don't do this to me.
Dude, I eat ice cream all the time.
Well, yeah, that again depends on a lot of constitution. So about the doshas, you have the vata, pitta, and kapha. So like vata is space and air, like ether and air. Pitta is fire, water, and kapha is water and earth. So we have like a main dosha. So mine is vata, like I don't know what it bases on. I don't remember, but it's just like our constitution as a whole. I think it's more like emotions and thoughts in terms of vata. You know, like really, you have vata also, by the way, like where you just like really. Well, let me read. Vata is like energetic, creative, and flexible. You know, which we really are. We have that as a main, and the second dosha I think is you have kapha, so you have more air. No, first is air, and second you have earth. So you're more like lazy. That's why you're like weed. Also, I think it's related. It's like loyal, patient, and supportive for dosha, kapha dosha. And I think I have pitta. I'm not really.
I feel
can
like
be
I'm
lazy
more like
sometimes.
water, bruh.
You want water?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is water and earth.
Yeah, water, earth, and
I don't know. What is your main one? I think it's vata too. I have to read about it more, but it's great to have. It's Ayurveda, by the way. It's like what is it? Health philosophy of India, and the pitta, which is like fire, precise, sharp-witted, and direct. Yeah, I kind of have that too. I don't know. I'm not sure which one is the second I have. Probably
It's-
pitta. I've got a lot of fire.
yeah.
But sometimes I feel like I
say.
have earth. Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say fire.
Anyways.
Sounds pretty accurate. But this is okay. So I guess we can talk about how our hobbies are sometimes talking about philosophy and like more like specific
But that's how
nuances
we-
and niches of. That's kind of why we created this podcast. Actually, it's because we were talking so much and for so
Yeah,
long,
we had to get this out.
and we were like, man. Dude, like, bro, like, what if someone out there like is man, like, dude, what if someone else out there gets this, man? Like, for real though,
Yeah.
And that's the goal of this is like, I want something out there.
Well, it's to help people.
It could be a cat, for instance. I want a cat to hear my voice on the radio waves and be like, like,
all right.
Isn't that what we want? Like,
Probably, yeah. You're in the cat vibration right now.
I know. I'm just, if that's what the cats demand, man, like,
The what?
that's what the cats demand, man. Like,
Okay.
I'm part of the band, man.
I thought you said the man.
No, I'm part of the band, man. So I do what the cats say, dude.
The cat's the director.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, about hobbies. Oh yeah, really important habit is semen retention, by the way.
Well, for you, yeah.
No, yeah, for me really, it is important. But for you too, like you can't like say you're not doing it.
Well, I'm not.
Like you're not doing as much as.
I just
extreme,
don't
but-
really care, Like I'm just like, Yeah, I mean, I'm supportive and I understand, like.
You're doing it too.
Yeah,
You're not, extreme,
it's
that's
just
my
like
point.
I just like. Yeah, it's just like not like, I don't know. It's like, it's just like natural, It's just like
To do what?
to just like I just like naturally like listen to my body, and like it just doesn't really ask for such demands that often like that. Self stimulus like that. Like,
What do you mean?
okay, why don't you explain what semen retention means then? Maybe it would be.
Well, it's in the name.
Yeah.
Returning the semen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm just not like. I mean, when I was a prepubescent child, that wasn't really a concern, right?
Like previously in your life?
Yeah, like I'm saying, like prepubescent, like you don't really worry about that because it doesn't really happen, right? So it's kind of like that
Yeah.
now, except like it can't happen.
Yeah, but my point is that you're more on this frequency than the other one.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
it used
yeah.
to
What
be.
I'm saying is like it's just like that. It's like, you know, it's just like
I mean,
being okay. What I guess what I'm trying to say is that by looking at it from the eyes of when you were a child, you know,
mhm.
and you're just like, I know sex is a thing. I know that it's for multitude of reasons, and then there's also self-sex or masturbation, man. And I will tell you, it's got its thing, man, and you know, it's healthy to do it in a way that is, I guess more if it feels expansive rather than diminishing.
Okay, I know this is really taboo in the society and it has a lot of angles again, but I'll just give you my point of view and my experience that for me it's really not healthy because my nervous system is really like sensitive, plus the Molly experience that made it even more sensitive. So like I just can't do it, like masturbate and orgasm. But like because of you have really a different like well you're I don't know how to say this. Like you're in a different point of evolution according to this thing, and you don't see this as like important as I do. And because of my life circumstances that made me really do it the way I do it to like the extreme, like literally like monk mud or something. But it's not me doing it though. It just happens. I'm not like I kind of bottomed out at some point. I was like, oh gosh, I can't help it, and I don't want to do it again because I was feeling so low, like uh, like a year ago, and like it just helps me a lot right now. But it's not me doing it. It just happened, and
Like,
I'm not taking the credit for it.
yeah, I
And it
guess.
can help you. Another thing I want to say really important is that it can be like it's not something I'm saying it's bad because kind of over time it can become bad if you do it too much. That's really important, moderation. But a lot of people can be moderate because we have this OCD habit, not habit, but like program of overdoing stuff. A lot of people are like just full on addicts, you know? Uh, and what I mean is that it can be for some time be positive. Like you said, it's expensive. Like you said, it can feel like that. It can help. Like everything that's the thing. Everything's paradoxical. For example, you read stuff. You know, it can be like if you overdo it, and like it can actually be negative or detrimental. But if you do it like moderately, then it can be like expensive. So that's why there are no like actual absolutes about it. But I was just saying that it's really important still to not mess with that because it's like the first chakra, the root chakra. So it's really like it's the base of your being. So if the base of your being is really messed up, then the rest is gonna be hard to like get in order. Just think of like I don't know anything like a house or a cat. If the foundation is
A
stable,
cat? Did you say?
a car, I mean a car, not a cat.
I mean, it's true for a cat too.
Yeah, everything because it's the same pattern. But so yeah, that's what. Yeah, you can say what you want to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that you just said. Like, I'm just
But
saying,
there are so many angles.
Okay, yeah, for me, it's just like, I don't know, like after I lost my virginity, for instance, I just had a whole different outlook on like all of it, you know, like I was just like,
But I don't have the experience, so I can't
no, I
say
know,
much
yeah,
about it.
yeah. But all I'm gonna say about that is like that changed like the whole I don't know, like it's just like everything for like around that was just like much more like at ease. Like I don't know, like I just didn't really care as much, like because I was like, okay, like it's cool, and it's a lot cooler when it's not just sex, and it's with someone that you really care about, and it's
Well, yeah, because it
Not
was just
mutual
coincidence.
masturbation, for instance, which is like what sex can be, you know?
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah, that's my point. Like, you don't want to do like promiscuous stuff. I mean, if you can't help it, it's cool. But it's just my point is that with this podcast, it's to really bring awareness to this stuff. That you can just look at it and be like,
well, the thing
oh,
is
maybe I
like,
should look at it myself and see if it's detrimental or not.
I'm not,
Like, if you can help it, then you can help it. Like,
yeah,
that's what
it's
it is.
not like, not to say that having sex is detrimental to your health.
No,
It
okay,
can,
no,
it
it can
can,
be holistic.
yeah, it could be healthy, it could be holistic, it's natural, like it's a natural process. And I just think that we have an overly sexualized like media.
Oh, world, yeah. No, that's the
Like,
thing. Yeah, everyone's a sex addict.
yeah, like, and I think and like I've been aware of this since I was a child, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's why I personally have the position I do around it, because I've been like trying to understand this in my own like understanding of sex, and in terms of reality, romance, like my independence and all that, like, and you know, ultimately, sex is not a hobby. It is not a hobby, dude.
It's not a hobby, but
And
I said why it's important still to talk about
no,
it
I know,
here.
but some people make it their hobby. You know, some people go out every weekend trying to get girls, or vice versa,
Well,
or like stuff
you
like
can
that.
call that a hobby, but it's more
Yeah,
like an
it's
addiction.
not. It's not. And the thing is like if you go out at the weekend, like as someone who used to do that all the time, like not like mostly with a girlfriend and friends, like that's why I would go out. And if something happens because of your going out, that's different, you know. Like it wasn't about you looking for it. It was about something that came into your field, you know.
No, yeah, that's the huge difference. That's for sure. But the
And
problem is that, yeah, most people are just like addicted to it, and they go and look for it. They just go out for this reason, you know.
yeah, and I mean, don't fight your addiction. Don't you know, accept it and look at it and be grateful for the lessons that it teaches you, and see how you work with it, and you know, slightly change those definitions that you have relating to it and what corresponds to form that addiction, because in the end, addiction is something that we go for outside of ourselves. That is not something that we're able to deal with internally, or that we're unable to meet to gratify something that we're feeling, or a sensation that we're lacking, perhaps, or you know. And
Wow.
ultimately, having passionate hobbies and habits and sticking to being healthy and all that stuff is just going to naturally sway you to maybe not go out every weekend, get plastered with alcohol and smoke electronic god dongs, and you know, and then smoke a baddie in the back of your car. I mean, like, it happens. Not saying that those times haven't been great when they've happened, but like, that's not what life is. And you know,
Just the message is to just bring some fucking loving awareness to it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's it.
That's the fucking thing right there, mate. Why don't you fucking tell them about it, V?
Again? The fucking love and awareness.
Yeah, that's what I fucking mean. Yeah, dude.
No, it's cool because you really talked on a mental level, which I can't really do because, you know, I'm like not really mental. Like,
Well,
I mean, you're much more mental than I am. Yeah, like I'm really emotional, so that's why it's great that you're here and you can explain them that really on a mental level, because yeah, a lot of people are on this level, not only because of the constitution, they have, but because of society that you said also.
Well, we
But
live in a
it's really like
society
that.
that values intelligence.
Yeah, in individualism and all this in the
Yeah,
West, it's really that's
especially, and
why.
I mean, like, it's more so like you gotta like refine some things, and you gotta delve a little deeper, and like, I just actually want to open something. Like, I'm just here. Okay, I exist. Okay, I exist. I have a room. I have a cat, dude. Okay, and then I'm just here to open something in your mind, someone else's mind. You know, just a little switch. You know, a little flip, if you will, like you said, the loving awareness flip. And all you can do with the mind is point to it and say, "Oh, remember you got that switch, dude." And whenever you're lost and you can't think of what hobby or habits you're doing, or flip that switch on, you say, "Okay, I haven't been eating enough vegetables. Maybe I should eat vegetables." It's like it looks simple that way.
Well, it's always simple, yeah, until the mind gets involved, because the original thought is just a thought, but then the mind is like making a mess out of it. Like, so it's true. But this touch is important for sure. That's why we've been trying to make this, I mean, not to the extreme, because we're still like growing in terms of projects and our art, but we've been trying to make this in the art. I really want like people to be touched somewhere inside them through the music I make, and I bet it's the same for you, Brendan. Like, you want to hit them like somewhere deep, hit home in them, like with whatever you're making in terms of visual art, right?
I definitely do aim to spark something.
Yeah, the spark is really important, and I think the spark is on a more like a higher vibe level, I'd say, to where you get like a more healthy life, because we know the world is really, well, we just see it's really unhealthy, and it's kind of why we're here. We watched this video. Remember the tribe from I don't remember his full name. Do you remember the full name?
I do not, but it's a really great video. So maybe like, oh yeah, we're creating a Discord to further connect our community and further information and creativity. So maybe we'll add that video in one of our section and channels. All right, continue, V.
Which one?
That doesn't matter. That's a future problem, dude. I was just plugging in our Discord link into an imaginary link that people will just be aware of it.
No, the Discord will be like,
it will be out by then when people are hearing.
Yeah, I'll be there somewhere. You just find it. Just in the description or something.
Yeah, look at the description, dude. Like, what are you doing? Duh.
Every link is there.
Yeah, the link is there, man. Like.
So yeah, the video is, if anyone is interested in watching, is about 9 minutes and 17 seconds, and it's called "Gathering of the Tribe," and it's from Charles Eisenstein, I think he's saying.
No, Eisenstein.
No, bro, I'm sorry, but I learned German for a year, and every time I see Stein, I'm like, dude, I say Stein like it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it is Stein.
And Eisen also.
Yeah, it's Stein, really? Bro. Yeah, Eisenstein.
It's Stein? Not
no,
okay,
it's Eisenstein.
How do you say his name?
Einstein?
Yeah.
Yeah, Einstein.
Eisenstein. Yeah, but in German it's a sh, like Stein.
Yeah,
not
Stein.
That's why it's different.
That's what I'm saying. Here it means, it's both
here.
Einstein.
You want to know something funny about the Einstein? Like, I was really tripping on this at some point.
Well, we're already tripping about this right now, dude. Like, we're literally been talking about this for a minute now. Like, someone's gonna lose their fucking mind and throw their fucking phone out the window because of this.
Okay, let me tell my story, dude. I was like Einstein. I was like, oh my god, because I was learning German. I was like Einstein, like, which literally means a rock, and I was like, damn, a rock in the space. That's why we are. And I was just tripping on it. And this guy is called Eisenstein, and Eisen, I believe, Correct me if I'm wrong. If any German is listening, but it means iron. Ironstein. It means. I mean iron or iron rock.
Iron
All right,
rock.
I'm not tripping on this anymore.
Iron rock. What was the point of this, V? Why are we talking about Iron Rock?
Because the gathering of the tribe.
Yeah. Okay, I
Important.
know that, but are you saying the Iron Rock has brought us to this Iron Rock to gather the tribe?
I don't know. Maybe there might be a relation according to this.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I was just tripping on the fact that I learned German for a year, and
Oh
not
yeah,
anymore.
you know what? That's a fair point. I'm sorry, V. Why don't you talk to the audience about your language
Well,
habits and hobby?
well, yeah, I've been learning languages for like, I mean, really actively for like 4 years, from 2020 till well this year, 2024. It was more like 3 years and a half because like 6 months ago when I had this really intense experience that flipped my life over, like literally. I was really into languages, so like something external and not creative at all. So I was just consuming languages, but I was calling this creative because my mind wanted to express its creative juiciness, but I couldn't because it wasn't really. I mean, it is creative. It can be really creative because you're creating sentences, but it's just so different when you actually create something that doesn't have a mind because like the languages are human languages, so the mind is involved in everything. Whereas if you take your cat as the inspiration, and if you take your piece of paper and your like forgot how it's called. um I have the word in French. Yeah, that's what languages do
Say it in
also. Like,
French. Say it in French.
well, it's called stylo, crayon.
Oh, what?
Yeah, bro, you don't know
Do you say
what it is.
Creole?
Crayon. Yeah, a pencil and a pen. Yeah, that's what it was.
Ah,
Crayon is pencil and stylo is pen. And my point is, yeah, you take these things to make art, and because the thing doesn't have a mind, I'm really tripping a little bit on this, or really a little bit. My point is that
it
because it doesn't have a mind, then it's like kind of like freestyle, free flow. Whereas sometimes and a lot because of the conditioning of the society, the mind, yeah, it depends on the philosophy. Because like Eastern philosophy, they wanna like live with the ego, and the Western they wanna kill it, but you need to find a balance between the two. My point is that the mind can be destructive, but it can be helpful too. So and the languages were too much mind for me, and now I'm like maybe too much with myself. I don't know. I still have some kind of balance going on, but yeah, that was my journey with languages. I haven't really talked about it too much, but I learned like too much.
well, this
Too
is
much
like the
mind.
episode to talk about it, and like for real,
Well, yeah, the habits I had, yeah,
this
had
was
over
like
had.
one of your biggest hobbies for like the longest time. Like that's all you did was learn languages.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true. Like I just used to wake up and just learn something, read something. But right now I don't really care
and you
because
would
I
try to get
found,
me to learn because you were like, man, I
yeah,
want someone to learn with, and then I was like, you know,
it's
I
true.
tried with Spanish a little bit because like, you know,
Well, yeah, Spanish at school isn't
I
really
love
the best
Spanish
way.
and I should technically know it.
Yeah, but school doesn't really teach you that
No.
because it's not really. It's too, again, it's too much mind. It's too artificial. Like you learn stuff from text that was made from other people, especially for you to learn and not actual real life conversations or stuff. If you watch a movie, like I learned, for example, that's a funny fact. I took 2 years of Spanish at school. I wasn't really motivated to learn it, but I still was there, you know. And then I got into Spanish once the 2 years of school ended, and I watched Netflix for 1 year straight of Spanish all the time, and because my native French is my native French, my native tongue is French, then Spanish wasn't too hard, you know. And I really learned a lot, and I maybe learned more in 2 weeks with just Netflix than I have ever learned like in 2 years, you know, of school. And that's my point. Like, if you're learning languages, if you're into languages also, you probably already know that, but that also applies to creativity. it has to be fun. You can't just force yourself and be like follow a mental concept and be like, I have to do it this way because it will be fruitful. You don't know, bro. Like generally in life, because it's so opposite and paradoxical and backwards, something that doesn't seem really fruitful actually might be fruitful
Well, that's
because you had
why.
fun.
Well, that's why you follow your highest excitement,
Yeah.
and you do so with no expectations or insistence on the outcome.
That's what Bashar would say, right?
That is literally exactly what he would say, and that's exactly where I got it from.
Yeah, I felt the Bashar vibe.
Yeah, no, he literally just popped in for a second. He was like, "Hey, yo, I actually got one for this."
Amazing. No, yeah, that's really great. Yeah, Bashar is great too.
He is very interesting,
but I agree with the excitement, yeah. But the thing is that the mind can really misinterpret that and act on
desire
addictions.
desire
Desire and addictions and all this, which me be like, oh, this is an excitement.
But
yeah, I would say
is
more
that
act on the passion.
they're more so like, okay, I guess to say like instead of excitement, maybe so more follow love. Like what makes you feel loving, what makes you feel able to love, what makes you feel like you offer love, what makes you feel loving or feel
but
loved, like
the mind is always here, like, because depending on where the person is in his life and personal evolution, the actual word love can be like felt in a fake way and be like, oh, I have this love for something. For example, for let's say two people are in a relationship and they feel love for each other,
but that's not a something, really, that's a someone.
Yeah. Well, for someone in this case, give me like actual tangible and concrete example.
I know. I'm saying like, okay, some people act as if they are a something in a relationship, and that's what you're identifying. Yeah. And I'm saying,
but in the relationship,
the problem is they're treating them as a something, not a someone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's that objectization thing.
Yeah, objectivity.
It was a. Yeah, okay, objectivity. Yeah, I'm creating words, by the way.
It's okay, yeah.
That's funny. And like these two people can be like feel love, but really they're just being fulfilled in terms of biology. So for example, the female that just gets her biology of security fulfilled by literally sugar daddying on the guy.
Well, the thing is that she.
Wait, let me give you.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. You're talking sugar daddies. Let me sugar daddy listen. Okay.
Got activated. And the other part, which is basically the guy that just gets his biological sexiness, or just he has a lot of sex, and because of that he feels the love. But it's just kind of like, well, everything is a dopamine hit in a way. So
well, the thing is that
it can be that too.
It's not just dopamine. There's specific things that, but like, yes, I know what you mean. Like,
well, yeah, they are over chemicals.
It's all Maya, bro. It's all Maya hits. It's all Maya hits. That's more accurate because dopamine is a specific chemical. And
you have endorphins,
and like a lot of the things is that people get when having sex is like adrenaline is one of them, because it's a physical act. Some people are really intense about sex, and it's not necessarily a sensitive act. Some people make it painful, for enjoyment and stuff. And like, I'm not.
Well, that's where kind of like porno. I think porno is the cause for this.
No, it's not just porn. Like, it's just like, well, it's called. I mean, it's called sadomasochism, but there's no. There's no use in kink shaming and saying they're wrong or right. We're not going in this down. We're not going in this rabbit hole. Use a safe word. Don't be a murderer, and don't be a rapist. Remember, consent is key. If someone is asleep, you would not offer them a cup of tea. Amen to that, brother. Okay, keep it going.
I forgot. I was in the flow, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta listen to what this guy has to say."
Oh, you want me to keep going about the cup of tea analogy?
No, it's a cool analogy, yeah.
Well, as we were talking about the cup of tea, it's a good analogy for when you're dealing with other people, and if they would accept a cup of tea, then there's no problem. But they must want the cup of tea, and you cannot convince them of it.
Oh yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, it's like that horse analogy. You can make the horse go to the water or something.
Yeah,
You can make him.
You can't make
drink the water.
Yeah, you can't. And that's the thing is like you don't want to be forced to do anything, do you? Not really.
I mean, you have to be forced by the universe, not by.
Well, the thing is
the
that
mind.
maybe there's something you don't necessarily want to do that you do in exchange for something that you do want, but that's something else. You still do it. You choose to do that because you.
Okay, well, mind fantasies a little bit here.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is that pretty much treat others the way you want to be treated. Like, if you want to be treated a certain way, then you know there will be people that will treat you that way.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, what you get out is what you
put in is what out. Also, yeah.
What you get out is what you get in, bro. That's how I say it.
Whatever.
You're judging my way of speaking.
No,
English
I wasn't. We kind of covered the whole ballpark almost with that, you know, because we said it opposite.
Yeah. So really,
it's
get
fine.
Home.
It's good. It's good that way. And you know, like
one thing about like healthy lifestyle, I haven't really talked about. We have talked about it, but we haven't said it in a really clear way. Is like your environment is really important. Like it has to be conducive, like for art. And I don't know how it looks. It can look like for you because it's really different and personal. Because we're all artists. We all have this creative juice within us, and it can really take a different form depending on the person. And everything that we say takes a slight different forms, even though we like try to share the essence of it. But that's the point. Like we try to just make you have awareness about it, and then make it the way you're supposed to make because it's personal. Like I said, and so the environment is important. The company you have also is important. Like you talked about it. Like if you just go out in bars and on the weekends and all this, you can't really be creative, if at all.
yeah, I well, okay. Not to say that those things don't contribute to creativity. I mean, a lot of times me hanging out with my friends did result in creativity, but that's something that
because you were already too well. There are so many angles to it because it's part of the process to be creative after some time. You know, like you have to taste the dirt to enjoy the fresh air, so to speak.
well but it's not necessarily. It's like okay, like that's just common stuff. Like that's just basic stuff that you know humans do, and it's okay to do that stuff. You know, in a you know, in an occasional sense, and like I'm talking more so drinking or going to the bars because like that's just something that you know I don't necessarily enjoy that much. Like
I don't
circumstantially
do that at all, too.
circumstantially I do. But like you know when I take medicinal substances with friends, like that often leads to creativity. But that's more of like almost a ceremonial practice that like to engage within like.
I mean, my point is that the thing of going to bars that you used to do like a few like years ago, you had to go through these periods in order to go to the medicinal stuff and to get into creativity, right? So that's like part of the process, not necessarily with everyone, but it has to be there on some level because of how life plays out. Like you have to taste darkness to get to the light, and that kind of thing. So that's why it's like I'm not saying it's like you have to throw that away because if you're really addicted to it, you can't, obviously.
Well, it's not even necessarily has to be an addiction, is what I'm saying. Is like
everything's an addiction though. On some level.
Well, the thing is like if you like in that case then we're addicted to air, like you know what I mean? Like Not to
cool.
say that drinking at the bar is the same as breathing air, but some people maybe they may act as if it is. But I guess what I'm trying to say with that is that, like, for me, like, I still will go out occasionally, but more so to see my friends than anything else. Like, that's the reason I'm there.
Yeah, that's the thing. It depends on what are your reasons, what the motive. If you go out,
Your
for example,
intentions and your
that's it.
actions. So
If you go out and you want to just like, it depends. If you want to socialize because you have friends there and I don't know, you want to talk about some stuff, concrete stuff or whatever, and you meet at a bar, okay. But if you just go out, for example, because you've just broken up with like your girlfriend and you want to just forget your problems and go there to drink, that's a huge difference here.
listen, sometimes
go-
that works though.
Yeah, but it only works temporarily.
Some of us to drink to remember, some of us drink to forget.
Yeah, okay, so many points on this. but-
I guess what I'm trying to say is like it I guess is that your focus is like
Yeah,
is
the awareness.
how is that deterring you and bringing you closer to
what
like
you're supposed to do.
like your passion, yeah.
Yeah, the passion.
And it's not to say that when you're following your passion that you still don't engage in things that are social or even I guess naive, or because
Well, I'm not saying
that's a great part of creativity is that the whole reason that we're creative is to deal with the understanding that we do not understand the unknown.
yeah. But my point is that I'm not saying do not be social because we're social beings.
Yeah,
But
no, I
the
know
thing
what you're
is,
saying.
It's the
is
way
like,
how you're doing it, you know.
yes, like it's different ways that you approach socializing, and that you don't necessarily like. That's the thing is like I don't really socialize much now because most of my friends don't really like doing that, and the friends that do like doing that don't do it as often, or at least I definitely don't do it as often with them.
I mean, I think that's part of like your spiritual path in generally the spiritual path of people, you know, because the reason why people do alcohol, or there are various reasons, but the main reason is to escape themselves, like I said, to forget or to remember, whatever.
Well,
that's not
when I was
escaping here.
15 and I drank for the first time, I was with my friends and we thought it would be
Mhm.
fun. And it was fun. I did throw up a lot.
Yeah, but my point is that there are so many like subconscious motives and ways why people do this. That's why it's important to put awareness on it, because then you're aware of why you're doing stuff more. Because if you're doing something unconsciously, then it's kind of like just the dark energies that just pull you around, and you can end up really addicted and a lot of suffering, which is good. Which is good too, because in the end, it makes you more free. Because when you hit bottom, you hit bottom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is like a blessing, really.
Yeah. Because once you hit
Doesn't
bottom,
feel like it in the mind.
you got nowhere else to go but up, man.
Yeah, doesn't feel like it in the moment though, but I get that. It's
Well,
kind of
I
how
mean,
life
if it
works.
at bottom, like, you could bottom out. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that is something that happens. But you're on to something else then. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have words for you, but the wordless will take care of that. And so yeah, so I guess
Well, that's kind of the point of the podcast, to kind of, we want to foster this creative juice that is present in a lot of dormant most of the time in people. We want to really just break that up
yeah,
and
this is
and give awareness to stuff, so you live a more healthy, holistic, balanced life as much as you can to your best ability, and that you're aware of stuff. Sometimes you can't help it. Like, for example, if someone is killing people, you know, and they're aware of it, and you still can't help it, you know, at least they have awareness of it, and that awareness is what makes the whole chemistry and alchemy inside the body happening, taking place. Because if you're unaware of something, then you can go on and on without like any change, because it just stays in the dark forces, you know. And that's what the point of the podcast is. And just to share our experience, because we've been talking, and we're like, we have to get that out or get that in an organized way, because when we talk, we just talk, so it's not really organized, which is why we made the server also, to organize stuff a little bit more and talk with some community that we can probably make.
Yeah, because organization and community is something that is really going to benefit everyone. Like,
yeah, that's really what we want. Like, well, because of the tribe video, especially, that really resonated on a deep level. You sent me that one day, and I was like, dude, I had to really listen to that again. And I was like, wow. And
well, that's just something that just like I really believe is like that message in that video is just like innately within us. Like,
well, yeah, that's the dormant stuff I was talking about. Like, gotta get that juice working, because the thing is, we are all part of creation, the whole creation. So within this creation, we are creators too, and that creative juice can be used in various ways. It can be used in positive ways, like we're trying to do as like our best, and like trying to change stuff to make it more holistic and help people. But some people like take this creative juice, they don't even know it's creative juice because of unconsciousness, and they use this to have to like hate on people. They're trying to find someone out there, because I know some people just they sit on the internet, you know, haters. They sit there on the internet and they try to hate on people, and that's the creative juice, you know. They want to express themselves, but they don't know how to do it, so they hate because of the dark forces. And if you're not aware of it, then you're gonna hate a long time until life teaches you the hard way, or not, depending.
Yeah, I mean, hate is something that can be difficult to overcome, especially if you've been ostracized. You know, it's like, how do you overcome that when you've been hated on a lot?
It's important to have awareness on how the ego and stuff works, and to be like,
and that's the thing, as being a creative, is you're gonna have to expect backlash and hate, because not everyone's gonna appreciate your authenticity.
That's also a good lesson in itself, to be honest. I mean, personally, and I know you don't care also, if people just like post, for example, the podcast out, and just people just write hate messages, you know, like I mean, I wouldn't care, because I see where they're at and I understand why. I just explain why, you know, the creative juice that is being unexpressed. But I know it can really hurt a lot of people, and that's why it's important to have like balanced lifestyle, because then you're more grounded in yourself, and you can handle, so to speak, hate. Not really handle it, but more like see why people are hateful and try to change them, and not necessarily these people at this time, but you can make a change in the world because of understanding, which is a really important thing of, you know, like our programs that we have. Because if you don't understand and you don't have awareness, then it doesn't work. Just how it is.
Yeah, awareness is the most subtle yet most powerful thing that we have at our disposal. Your awareness
really key
is where you put your power. Like, if you're aware that we're talking on a podcast right now, you're fully invested in that podcast. I was about to talk about my bong and my bonsai tree, but that would have taken my power from the podcast away and given it all to this bong and bonsai tree, which, hey, let me tell you, they deserve it. You know, they're doing their thing. But you see how that works? Like, if you're trying to do a podcast and you're focusing on random stuff, your podcast is going to be a little like wishy-washy, perhaps, yeah?
Yeah, that's a cool way to explain it. But I mean, I really kind of admire you to have like this attention, because it's really like, I don't know if it's a gift, but a really cool ability, especially because of the weed. I mean, when I take weed, for example, it can just happen. I can just go in loops in my house and do stuff, and I know that happens for you sometimes too. But I guess because if because you're used to it, then you don't really do that often. Sometimes it happens,
It's
but
more so when I'm like anxious and ungrounded and like
yeah, that's the point of it. If you're not grounded, then dark energy starts to
and
play
then
out.
you just keep circling and it's like
You loop,
it's it's almost as if you're a helicopter and it's like you're looking for a place to land, but you got enemy AC 130s above, you got Charlies in your area, that it's not looking good. You're not going down there, you know what I mean? Like it's like that, dude. Like you go into the helicopter and you're like, oh, I want to go somewhere cool, right? You're like, you're in a helicopter, you're gonna go somewhere you want to go, right? And then if it's like there's turbulence or like wind obstruction or like shit, like you're 16 and your fucking dad's home, so like so that's like you're hovering over a fucking no-fly zone, dude. Like it's like there's like maybe it's a stealth op, dude. There's a lot of different ways like this like can go, like. And when you don't have somewhere to land that helicopter, it can be pretty intense, and it can be a circle. And that's worse than a spiral, because if you're spiraling, you're actually going somewhere, and that's where you want to go. When you're taking the weed, you want to go down a rabbit hole. That's why you do it. You're going down a rabbit hole somewhere.
But there's always that player that just wants to jump out of the helicopter because why not?
Well, you can jump out of the helicopter like a parachuter,
Yeah, but it's an important key to add to this analogy is that you have to be friends with the fact that you don't know anything. Right? We're talking about stuff, and it seems like we do know what we're talking about. But really, we don't know much. I mean,
well, I'm telling we know as much as the person jumping out of the plane, dude, or the helicopter. Like,
yeah, that was the point.
Yeah, exactly. And what do they know? You gotta trust that your parachute works, or your wingsuit, or maybe you can fly.
Yeah, you gotta trust
maybe you can
take
fly.
A free backpack.
Maybe you can fly, dude.
Well, it depends if the person's still listening.
Yeah.
Or not.
Or you can get sucked up into the propeller or something, and you're done.
No, you just get a black hole in the middle.
Yeah, you just open a black hole. You just go Super Saiyan, dude.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. That really lasts. But yeah, it really encompasses everything that can happen in life in a really
and that's like the thing is like you gotta find something that you love and you jump into it like that parachuter. And sometimes you don't know what dangers are, and that's where the thing is like eventually your helicopter's circling enough and that it's got to land because it's running out of gas, bro.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna have to jump eventually, and that's the thing is like sometimes you can't guarantee that safe landing, or and that's the thing. It's like,
yeah, you don't have to think too much, just go. Basically,
and sometimes it doesn't work out for you, dude. And I'm literally touching like in my knee. There's a pebble from when I was 11, and I like full sent down like my driveway that was like a giant hill, and I like skidded out on gravel, and I like did like a whole ass like flip, and I got road rash all over my body. And there's like this rock in my knee, and I still have giant keloided scar. And it's like, it's just a reminder, like, dude, like, yeah, sometimes you bust ass, but at least you tried. And 99% of the time when I did go down that hill, it worked out. But one time it really, really did not.
Probably the lesson was that it's okay to like think, but you don't have to think too much either way. Like for example, the way I do music is that I don't really think a lot. I just move some knobs and it works out. Uh, it's really a stupid, silly way to explain it. Uh, but that's kind of how it is, and I guess it's the same for you. You kind of like you just move your pen and get some strokes down there on the
Well, that's the
sheet.
thing is
It works.
something I get really hyper focused on the strokes and like that.
Hmm.
And so like I really try to incorporate that into my art because I really enjoy the process of like making the marks and stuff. Sometimes you can tell when I'm just like trying to get something down, but like uh I really try to utilize that feature of it, like how you
Oh yeah,
apply it, because
you
it
just
says a
say that.
lot.
Yeah,
And
it has a lot, but
like that's your
you said
voice.
when you really have something to focus on, right?
Yeah, so when you have something really to focus on, like
And when you dance, is also where the magic happens, because you can be just doodling away and just you realize you make something, and that also happens with the music a lot. Is that like sometimes I just make something and like I'm not sure what's gonna come out, and something comes out, and I'm like, I'm just happy with it. Sometimes I'm not, and like it doesn't stir me up. Like I just continue because like it's about enjoying the process and not really getting out of any result or outcome expectations of these,
well, that's it.
which is
You
important.
enjoy the process. But the thing is, that is kind of something that you should take into account is that if your focus is on, like, for instance, like you're in archery right now and we got a target and you got the bow. If your focus
Hmm.
is only on the bow, you're not going to hit the target.
But yeah, okay, but yeah, that's why we say holistic stuff because it's not stable to just have one and focus with fully on just one side. So that's why you gotta know how to actually manage the helicopter in case you actually land. You don't go to the helicopter, enter the helicopter, and just jump out. You know, unless you're doing some parachuting or something. But yeah, you need to have like a kind of understanding of kind of the whole, not complete understanding, but at least like what is going on. And there might be things you don't know about, which is cool too because you're learning that way.
But you also have
But
to be aware that you are unaware.
yeah, well, that's important. That's the point of awareness.
Yeah.
To be aware of the unaware and unconscious. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we covered everything, haven't we? About the hobbies and habits. I mean, another hobby is to go to the forest.
Yeah.
Get more healthy chemistry exchange.
No, yeah.
What's the point?
Going on walks in nature and
Yeah.
you know,
Now,
it's
if you
really
live in a big city, it's really
there's
different.
parks, but it's not
Yeah.
necessarily the same. I mean, I used to live in a smaller city. Not like a really small city, but like, you know,
Yeah. Would you
not
have
like
any
a
advice?
metropolitan crazy area,
Well,
but
yeah, that's crazy. Like, because a lot of people live there, so there might be a high, like,
like
probability
New
that
York
people actually listen to
City,
this from there.
I don't really get no really mystical sensations like
Do you
nature
have any
vibe.
advice for these people,
For those
except like
people, oh well,
the parks?
um, in the parks they are nice, but and definitely go to them if that's what you have around. I would say like really try just sitting down in the park maybe and just like getting a blanket or like a sleeping bag. That's what I used to do. And just like lay out on there and just like absorb the sun and like do yoga and stuff out on there and like it'll be really nice and chill and like even though it's not a lot of space or maybe not a lot of nature, like you being more like loose and relaxed is gonna allow you to be more in
And
tune.
that's the point. That's kind of like the consequences of you being aware of stuff. You try to like if you really have like an unhealthy life, then you can try to do this and all the things we've talked about to really make that shift. I mean, you can try to make it happen, but it will happen over time anyways. That's why you have to like. I really like that analogy, where it's not an analogy, it's a paradox, where you try as hard as you can, but you just chill out at the same time. Because if you try too hard, again, it's unstable. And if you chill out too much, then nothing's gonna happen. So
Well,
it's
you
really
have
both.
to allow, like, you don't beat, you don't tell a river where it's gonna flow. Like, the river flows based on how the water follows the path of least resistance.
Yeah, that's the thing. Path of least resistance. But sometimes you can help it, and you have to, But that's a lesson of itself too. You have to go the way.
Well,
That is not the
technically, we're a
least
little more
resistance.
than water, so, like, you know, like, you gotta make
Hobbies?
some.
Any other hobbies?
Oh, well, I mean, sometimes I play some music too, but it's more so like just experimental and for fun. And yeah, like when I play music, it's just like a random spurt, and I mostly have like little percussion instruments, so it's like me just like
Yeah, you're a drummer. Hard.
banging around, and it feels good. And like I have an Asian steel drum, and that's kind of sounds like Minecraft music. So it's like,
Is it a handpan? Is that a handpan you have?
no,
Or is it
no. It's not. I wish I had that kind.
what is it?
It's
Is that with? I don't know. How
it's like a similar version to that, like very close. But you
Is that
don't.
the one
You can't
play,
really.
so-
You can't really use your hands though. You need to use like little rubber mallets or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like a little orb, kind of, or like a.
Does it make really sharp
egg.
sounds?
Like I said, it sounds similar to like a kalamba, but like a little more like, like I would say hollow or like echoey.
Mm-hmm. Got a lot of reverb.
Yeah, dude, dude, like when I played that on Molly, like I felt so in tune with this instrument. Like, wow, just like it felt like I was able to express myself perfectly in the moment with every note. And I didn't know how to play, but I just could see every note and how it was laid out. And because it's a percussion, it's like you do a pattern,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not like you have to know the notes or anything. Like you just
Wow, the
follow.
Molly really puts you in some kind of flow, and then your perception
Oh
got
my
altered.
god, yeah. And ever since then, like percussion instruments are just intuitive for me because
So yeah, but that's kind of like the point of like jogs is to show you like new perceptions, but not depending on them. Like for example, you can't just go and do Molly like every week and be like, okay, I'm gonna
no,
play my
like,
percussion. No, just the perception and moment, and then you do your stuff sober. Okay, you might have like a chaotic lifestyle, but that's help for you to change and
no, it's very helped.
takes time. Yeah.
Helped to open up my eyes to ways to connect, because that's something that I've always struggled with, is how do I connect with the things that are outside and to what's inside. And I think everyone struggles with that, to be fair, but
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's kind of like the play of life. We gotta figure this out in a way. Because the stuff outside may look really alien sometimes,
sometimes, yeah.
But yeah, it depends on the frequency you're being like exposed to these things, like. Because that's kind of what makes something alien, It's because we've never seen it. If you see it really often, then it's just normal.
Well, yeah,
So-
I mean, this is a thought experiment, maybe, like, and that's I guess a hobby of mine too, is sometimes I try to like take different perspectives of like when I'm in reality, like imagine right now you'd never been on Earth before,
Mm-hmm.
and just like for a second, I've never been here before, and you're just here now. You're sitting in front of this. Well, right now I have this glowing rectangle that has rainbows, and there's not just one of them. And
Where do you see that?
Like by my feet and in front of me.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if technically we know what a feet are in this analogy, but I'm gonna guess we do know what feet are.
Are you rainbow land?
Yeah, pretty much all my like computer stuff's got rainbows, but
Oh yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah.
so
Sequences.
I have like that, and then I'm just like looking. I know there's a floor. I'm sitting on something, and outside there's a lot of green, and like I'm just like, huh. So what do you do when you're right here in this middle of this room? This room.
Yeah, that's
And
a crazy perception to really like take a step back like this.
yeah, dude, and I do this a lot in different ways. Like, one of my favorites is like, imagine if right now you were a ghost. Like, everything was the same, but like you had just died, and like now you're like a ghost, like in the area you are. Just like everyone doesn't know like you're there, or like you're just dead. Like, and you're just a ghost, right?
Yeah.
And that's different than never being in Earth before. That's have been here before, and now you're looking back at everything and where you are in this moment in a very different way.
But it's hard because everything that we know is of this, So how do you do to forget it? Do you take alcohol?
No.
Go to bars.
I'm saying, okay, like think about this, for instance. Imagine you didn't know what language was, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking right now, that wouldn't make any sense right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't turn that off, right? Because it still makes sense. It still has a connection. You program that. That's a program that's established, okay? So obviously, realistically, I can't say I don't know language in this moment. But if I take a step back and realize that I'm not talking at all, I'm the one watching myself talk in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the one attached to the language, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's interesting about saying I don't understand what language is, because I'm still using it and I'm focusing on what it's like not knowing what language is.
Yeah, but again, it's about the attention. And
Yes.
just focused on.
And so while I'm
outside of
being
the box.
attention on what it would be like not knowing language, then it puts you into a very interesting place when you're actually using language and you're expected to use it. And so the mind can't necessarily handle that because the mind is still doing the language. And especially right now, because we're talking about it so
Oh yeah, that's beyond
specifically.
my stuff.
And so I guess to further this is that it gives you a spaciousness, right? And so what I'm going to say to further this and how to explore these ideas and thought experiments that I'm pertaining here is that the more space that you open and create and empty, it allows you to navigate these concepts and ideas and like perspectives of reality, and in a way that you're not necessarily connected, or I guess attached is a better way.
Mm-hmm.
You're
That's
not
something we haven't.
You're not attached to the processes, opinions, or processes going on. You see, and you still have these things. These things are happening. So you understand that they're part of what's going on, but you're not necessarily, saying this is the only way, or it's just this is the case right now. It's like the understanding that what is right now is not limited. Like, you create the limits of that. So I guess one way to look at it is when you say language, I don't know a language. Like, I don't know what Spanish is, so I can't talk to you about all this in Spanish. And if people were talking about that in Spanish, I would not understand at all. And they could look at me as if I don't understand what we're talking about right now. And the same way you can look at it this way when you're talking about how my mind is able to think, oh, this language right here, I don't understand it. So you think more about how you're using this language and how it would be like if this was all Spanish and you're not a Spanish speaker. You see? So you're like, whoa. So I guess one way that has like integrated into how I respond to people is that I'm much more courteous when talking to people that are not Native American or English speakers. And I say American because Americans got their own slang comparatively to Australia and Britain and shit. But like
yeah, no, that's probably why I was like interested in languages in the first place, to have this new perception. And like I said, it's cool, but for me it was too much in mind, and that's why art gave me the perceptions that I needed to get like these new perceptions. But I think you would be a really great like guy on YouTube that would like do some guided meditations, because I mean, for me, it really hit deep, and I think it can hit deep too with a lot of people, especially the ones that haven't really been on the spiritual path for that long.
Well, the things that I
Like,
was just offering were more of ways to expand your mind.
yeah, that's why
Your
it's
mind,
great.
not necessarily meditation is like more so like emptying the mind.
Yeah, but like I said, well, depends what kind of meditation.
I
You
was
have the mindfulness one. And
yeah. I guess you're right. You're right. I'm not gonna language
my point was
is
that
weird, see? Language is
I
weird,
know,
man.
my point is that it's great that you brought this up, because like it gives new perceptions, and that's why we won, because we always like we used to talk to each other like, oh yeah, we agree on this and that, but yeah, we had to expand into a podcast. And
Well, the thing
it's really
is
something I
like
enjoy.
I really enjoy this as well, and like I guess the bigger reason why I brought this point up is that when you create this space, that allows your awareness to be able to be open to recognizing your habits and hobbies in a realistic way.
Yeah, it's
And
something I haven't said, but the relationship between the space there is and the lack of identification, because if you identify it, there's like this tightness that doesn't allow you to really see stuff compared to the space. And that's why like I was like, oh, that's not something, I mean, I've probably said it, but not in a such, I mean, it's really an exquisite way to say it. Really good job.
thank you. I mean,
Flabbergasted, yeah.
I really hope that someone is able to hear this and relate to it, because I really feel a chill when I talk about it. Like it
Yeah, cute.
it's cool, man. Like it's cool. Like and like
Yeah, you're dialed in, man.
oh, other hobbies. I mean, like I used to be into like card games and stuff, like Yu-Gi-Oh. Those
Oh
little
yeah.
like things. I still have all my cards. I actually did play a little bit in like my last semester of undergrad. That was pretty dope. So if you have a chance to do something like that, like I think exploring things that you enjoyed as a child is really interesting as a young adult, especially because it allows you to like kind of like retrospect on like your journey and like where you want to go and like what's actually important to you in a much bigger way than this is a toy I used to play with. And that's a surface level thing, but like
Yeah.
imagine you're kicking back with the homies ripping Beyblades. On God, I think that would be fucking dope. I'm gonna bring that up to the next homie hangout like ideas. I'm probably gonna have to get some, Beyblades because I only have one.
I mean,
think, and I don't
the
have a
stuff
Ripper,
like
but
when we were when we were kids, like I mean, we don't really remember much, but I'm pretty sure this stuff used to be intense, like for real, because and spiritual also. Like we talked about like the actual like animations and stuff, which might be the next episode, by the way.
Oh, you want to talk about animation and all that?
No, we talked about it already. I mean, in this timeline, we're experiencing stuff. Maybe it might be after for the audience.
Oh,
But
yeah.
The point is that
I keep
The point is
forgetting the
that-
timelines got swapped and swapped, and the
point is that
audience
like,
is gonna definitely be like, maybe some. Actually, I'm not gonna talk anymore about that. You keep talking with me. You keep talking. Let's just not buy
Yeah.
the inception going on here.
my point was that as children, we're like, and I know it's pretty common because I've seen that a lot in people. A lot of reports. I don't know if they're necessarily true, but a lot of people were like, "Damn, when I was a child, like stuff was magic. It was characterized like this and being expressed like this through animations and stuff we used to watch or we used to like interact with when we were like child in the childhood." And yeah, it's like this magic doesn't necessarily have and doesn't necessarily has to like stay in some kind of nostalgia that you feel in yourself. It has like that's the point of introspection, to go back there and to be like, actually, there's something that it can bring here that used to be there, and like that's kind of how you can spark your creativity also like this. I mean, like everything is something that can be used for.
Well, the thing is like.
Okay,
I just want to add. I just want to add a quick point. It's a snowball effect. That's all I wanted to say. I just want to add that.
The point? Oh, that snowball effect.
Yeah, that's all. I was just wanted to just. You were so close to like pointing at it, and I just wanted to. I didn't want to throw you off though. I just was like, yeah, snow.
The example I wanted to give, the snowball, which can be used for creativity also. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what like the source of inspiration is, because I know the ego can also be like embarrassed to be like, oh, this is my source of creativity, like whatever, like it doesn't matter. Generally, when you make art also, unless it's really conspicuous, most of the time people don't really know how vulnerable you've been, to like the things for your source of inspiration or whatever you made your art with,
Yeah.
People don't really know this. Some know.
Well, mostly the people who get it are also creators, like.
Yeah, or they get it in a different way.
Yeah, maybe they're like a fucking. I don't know, dude. You keep going. I just like.
Yeah, it depends on a lot. And that's it. I guess that's it for today.
Yeah, you wanna.
I mean, it's been 1 hour and like about 50 minutes, 50 minutes, well, almost 2 hours.
Okay.
So I think that's a really good episode for Hobbies and habits, which, putting the two together was really, it was strong, man.
Yeah, very strong.
But
Did we end the recording or?
Yeah, we're gonna end the recording.
We haven't yet, though.
No, we haven't. But I think we really covered everything we could have and should have.
Yeah, I mean,
really,
there's like some points that we're gonna talk about like in other episodes, but
more in detail.
Yeah, so don't get like crunchy panties or something over it. Like, we'll figure it out, dude.
We're chill, We're chill, and there are really a lot of episodes to go. I don't know if we'll do maybe 300 episode one day. That would be crazy.
Episode 300?
Yeah,
I mean, if we talk like this, like every day, I mean, that's just a year. That's a year, dude. A year is 300.
Yeah, but if we get one episode out every week,
Well, yeah, but we'll see what happens. But I was also contemplating whether or not we should like release the whole season like at once, because it's really annoying to like it. I get though, like wanting to like kind of spark like some things.
No,
but,
that's a much better thing to do. Yeah.
But we already started the season format, so I mean, like, why wouldn't we do that, right? Like,
yeah, definitely. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep that in the actual recording, because it's like we kind of use our mind. We've got these ideas here, right? And we'll be like, what are we gonna do? You know?
Well,
But the
this
funny thing
kind of.
is
I'm sorry.
yeah, when we actually get to do the thing, it's like we don't even think. We've got the ideas and we think about it a little bit before, but it's gotten, I feel like there's this paradox. The more we think about it, and like the more we actually get a way of actually just doing the thing, whereas when we just get the idea, we're like, okay, it might work out, and then we kind of forget about it, and then it works out in some way. You know.
Well, I like the meta commentary, because I think it gives it an extra like layer to looking at the creative process, maybe inspire those who are listening. Maybe kind of ease it up, the tension. Like, William Greaves is a director, and he has this movie called Sociotaxiplasm. Psychosocial Taxiplasm. It's a crazy name, from 1969. It's a really great movie. It's all about relationships, like between like stereotypical men and women during that time. But it's filming the actors like normally in a movie, obviously. But it's also filming the director and how the movie is being made, and then it's also filming the camera crew. So it's like, you see how the whole movie is made within the movie, and it's just actually really awesome. Like,
no, okay, yeah, that can give a lot of insights.
Yeah, and I mean the movie is just like so profound in many ways. Like,
that reminds me of another movie.
Yeah, which one?
Adjustment Bureau. Have you seen it?
I'm sorry, what?
I guess you have. Adjustment Bureau.
No, I have not.
It's like, it reminds me of this because, like, here you see the crew and how the whole thing was filmed, but as in this thing, Adjustment Bureau, it's like a guy goes through a path in his life, and there's a girl, obviously, again, always this like play of life really depicted in movies, and they go on the path, and they're not supposed to meet, but then they're trying to meet each other, and then it's like behind, it's like some kind of I don't know how to explain it, because it was too deep for me. It's like just beyond any understanding of like how to explain it. But I'll do my best. It's basically of like, no, for real though, it was really intense.
It was
and yeah, it was like that. It's like some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of maybe cosmic not registers. What's the word? Let's say programmers or something behind the scenes. They were trying to like change their path. You have to see the movie or read the synopsis, because I'm really bad with words sometimes. Or synopsis, maybe that's how you say it.
Synapses.
Yeah, can you read it? Check it out online. I feel like it's better for the audience because I'm really bad with. Sometimes I just bug, synapses in brain in biology. I don't think that's.
Yeah, the synapses in your brain. That's correct, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Let me.
Well, do you want to cut the video after your aneurysm or before your aneurysm?
I think I'll keep it in.
All right. Well, thank you all to those beautiful folks back at home and those who are listening and pretty much sending peace, love, and joy to anything out there in the cosmos. If you're listening, we love you, and if you don't believe us, someone else does, I promise. Yeah, so please take care of yourselves, and explore your hobbies, and dwell in habits that expand your capabilities and interests, and how you proceed with those hobbies.
Yeah, I agree with all this, and I hope you enjoyed my aneurysm. How do you say this word?
Don't think too hard about it, buddy. You might have another one.
Anyway, gotta keep it raw,
Yeah.
like, that's part of my existence, to be really retarded, and
well, mine
that
as
way
well. I mean, like this is how we're gonna end the episode. Okay, V. We're gonna leave the episode with a question for the audience. To goof,
I just want to say that. Oh, to goof or to goop?
Yeah.
I just want to say that, like, it doesn't matter. I mean, I really want to put this aneurysm, whatever it's called, in this thing, so that people can, like, not just, like, for a way to people to laugh at me, because whatever, if you want to do this, it's cool. I enjoy it too, because you laugh with me and not at me, even you can feel like
no, they're laughing at you too.
Yeah, I mean, it's both, when I just the thing is, my point is that the perception is key, and that it might happen to you too, and because of that, then
dude,
you don't have to be like, oh my god, I have to be embarrassed about it. No, like, I know it depends on the constitution of each person, because some people can't really have this self-deprecating humor.
Well, that's something that I do have, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I want to keep it as raw as possible, and because people can learn from this, even though they might seem like mistakes, for.
Well,
like,
I feel like at this point, like, honestly, it's a statement why it's so raw, this podcast, because maybe instead of listening to us talk, maybe you go and you talk to someone else that you like. Not to say you shouldn't listen to our podcast, but really try touching someone with your words. Like, do that. Like, you have that power. Like, you can talk as deeply as we are, and I really love.
My point is,
I really love the fact that we're talking, and I really love the fact that there's people listening. So
the point is that, like, I've seen this guy on YouTube, which is some kind of master Shaolin.
Yeah, I know that dude.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is, because it's in Chinese, so I don't
It's
remember.
Buddha Heart Demon Hands guy.
I'm bad with names. The thing is Heyyyo, something like this. You can see him. It's in TEDx talk, and I've seen this guy, and the guy said, "I'm not a speaker." The guy just like hits himself with some kind of with a stick. Like for like actual. It's a practice, like a Shaolin practice to endure physical pain, which is really deep.
Well, if you don't know who you are and you go to a Shaolin monk monastery, they're gonna fucking hit you with that stick.
Yeah, it might sound really threatening to the mind, but yeah, whatever.
I mean, that's the whole point. It's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, to transcend it, yeah.
Yeah. But, you say, "Thank you, Masa. Thank you for the stick."
My point was that the guys, like he says, I'm not a speaker, and I'm also not a speaker, and I'm really bad with words. I mean, I consider myself bad with words, even though sometimes I say things that are like, wow. Well, and I don't even like. It takes time for me to realize.
Well,
but you are much better.
Sometimes I mumble. Sometimes I slur. Sometimes I like get like a twitch. Sometimes I don't like. Sometimes I don't know if I'm like speaking, and if I'm saying words or not, which is kind of weird sometimes. Like,
yeah, you forget.
No, like it's like
you in a conversation.
It's like I'm disconnected. Like sometimes I'm so far out, like that
your attention is somewhere else. Yeah.
No, it's like it's weird. It's like I'm aware and present, but like I'm not able to recognize the fact if my mouth is making words, because it almost feels the same as when it's not.
I think it's like artistic. It's an artistic.
No, yeah, it definitely
trait there.
is. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, it's like right now I understand I'm using my words because you're responding, and I'm certain
Yeah.
because of that. But if you weren't necessarily responding and I wasn't like really like projecting my voice, like I can't really feel it necessarily. And sometimes I can't tell, and I talk really quietly or reserved because of that. Like,
Yeah, no, I get that.
it's
that's really weird.
yeah,
How
it's
the
kind of
consciousness
trippy.
is interpreting. Well, after the example you've given me and the audience about like the detachment, like having space. Yeah.
Well, it's the
That's kind of
thing
what
is like
happens.
that's why I was able to talk so well about not having a connection or understanding to language while
Because
using
God
it.
was talking through you.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Because like, dude, I don't know, it's not the only way to talk, man. Like, there's so many signals that we receive and give off that are, words are one form of it,
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it's about it for the podcast of today. Thanks guys for listening, and have a nice one. Peace out, and
Yeah.
don't forget about the smoothies.
Yeah, drink
Very
your
important.
smoothies, stay juicy, keep it real, dog. On jaw, for real, full send, no cap.